Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we have the latest on the spread of COVID-19 here in the Commonwealth as we hit more than 1,000 cases. And while Kentuckians are social distancing to slow the spread of the novel coronavirus, new reports show that we may also be reducing the spread of another common illness. And we'll show you how businesses that focus on tourism are getting creative to stay in operation during this pandemic.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:02 on Tuesday, April the 7th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Yes, we are in my living room again today. Again, just a new normal and some things we're trying out as we continue to social distance during this coronavirus pandemic. Back in the studio, however, is Brandon. He is tracking what is shaping up to be an active couple of days weather-wise across the region. So let's toss it over to him to give us a breakdown of what to expect on this Tuesday. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, Will, and glad to see you're up and about and not having any issues, and we're glad to see you. It's been a long time. I got to see you the other day, but it wasn't, it was from a distance. So again, good to see you on the TV again. Let's tell you what's going on this morning across the region. Live Pinpoint Doppler radar. I'm going to take you a little bit farther to the east this morning, and you see over into parts of West Virginia, we're starting to see a few showers and pop-ups pop up there in parts of outside of our area near Charleston. But again, those could affect some of our eastern counties a little later this morning. So models may be on track by 7 o'clock. Let's see what's going on here with temperatures. They're still in the 40s and 50s. We've lost our 60s now across the region, and the winds are coming in out of the south and southwest. So that means warmer air is going to pull in today off of the Gulf. So 78 is our official forecast high. We could see a few pop-up showers and storms across the region, but again, I think most of us will stay dry with a mix of sun and clouds. But as we look ahead, we're tracking the possibility of some severe weather, especially tonight and tomorrow, and stronger storms are possible today before a big cool down happens later this week. We'll talk about the extended forecast coming up. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, Kentucky hit more than 1,000 cases last night on the one-month anniversary of the first one. That is the news from Governor Andy Beshear as he announced 54 new cases in the Commonwealth. The toughest news he shared yesterday as he became emotional was 14 new deaths linked to COVID-19, bringing the total here in Kentucky to 59. Governor Andy Beshear says officials are moving forward with plans to open state parks where some can go and self-quarantine. Specifically, cabins will be open to first responders. So here we go. Let's take a look at our latest county-by-county tracker here in Kentucky. As you can see, there are now confirmed cases in the majority of Kentucky counties. Again, there are 120 counties in the state. The health department in Laurel County confirmed their 5th case, while Knox, Whitley, and Morgan counties also announced their first cases yesterday. In Knox County, the Barberville Police Department confirmed one of their own officers tested positive for the coronavirus. The announcement came shortly after the Knox County Health Department released information that they had their first positive COVID-19 case. There are 6 officers now in quarantine, as well as Mayor David Thompson.
I'm hoping with what's happened today, myself and part of the police department being quarantined, one police officer testing positive, that the public will fully see now what we're trying to do so that everybody understands that this is not a joke.
With its first case, the Knox County Health Department continued to stress the importance again of following CDC guidelines to prevent any exposure. Now, as we all do our part to help slow the spread of COVID-19, practices like social distancing could be going a long way in helping the battle against another illness. It's the flu. Now, for the 3rd week in a row, flu numbers went down in the Commonwealth, the same period of time that social distancing has been at the forefront of people's minds.
I think we're probably seeing some impact of the social distancing, but also this is a time of year where we see it tail off anyway. But the thing to throw in there as well is that we're testing a ton more right now than we typically do. With the hand hygiene, the social distancing, all of that stuff will impact other infections on top of just coronavirus.
Now, Dr. Stanton says the data shows that Kentucky is flattening the curve, especially compared to states like New York, but people need to continue to follow these steps in order to continue the process. Now, as people continue to use personal protective equipment or PPE to protect themselves in public, WYMT's Madison Pergram explains how, if not used correctly, these items may not be as beneficial as we think they are.
Gloves and masks, items people use in public places to prevent them from getting the coronavirus.
It is okay for the general public to wear gloves if they're using them appropriately.
Appropriately is key, because if not, it could have the reverse effect.
Oftentimes what we see, though, is that individuals wear gloves, they're cross-contaminating, they're touching multiple surfaces, and they're continuing to touch their face with these gloves. So it really gives them a false sense of security.
Disposing of them is also a concern after seeing gloves lying around parking lots.
That they have to clean up the gloves in the parking lots, or if someone, especially a child, touches the gloves, they may be more likely to contract COVID-19 if a sick person was wearing the gloves and then disposed of them improperly.
So how can we prevent this? Public Health Director Scott Lockhart explains just that.
Take a extra grocery bag or something with you and have in your vehicle, and then when you're taking off the gloves, put these in that grocery bag and then dispose of it in the garbage appropriately when you have the next opportunity.
This not just to protect yourself, but others.
As our governor says, we will get through this together, but it's by all of us doing our part and watching out for our friends and neighbors and not just ourselves.
Working together, doing our part to prevent and stop the spread. In Perry County, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Lockhart says despite even wearing gloves, people need to thoroughly wash their hands before and immediately after wearing said gloves. Now, health experts are calling for COVID-19 survivors. The Kentucky Blood Center wants them to donate plasma to be used in the fight against the virus. Antibodies from people who recover from the virus could help doctors treat new patients. As we told you last week, a Harrison County man was the first survivor to donate. Baptist Health began treatment last weekend. If you recovered from COVID-19 and want to donate, you can sign up online. Well, Shaping Our Appalachian Region is working with Food City to help ease the burden on healthcare workers. SOAR has called for local people to make cloth face masks, which can then be donated to any Food City store in eastern Kentucky, where they will be picked up by local health department officials. Executive Director Jaron Arnett says the organization felt led to use its partnerships to be a light for those in need during the pandemic.
I've told our team several times, we were really made for a moment like this. We have relationships with all these partners from the economic and the health side, and we see both of those areas getting hit so hard right now.
SOAR is also providing mask patterns to make sure donated masks meet CDC requirements. Well, a Gatlin-based moonshine and whiskey producer donated 10 gallons of hand sanitizer to ambulance crews. The sanitizer Sugarland's Distilling Company makes is set to the standards approved by the FDA and the World Health Organization. The donated sanitizer went to Priority Ambulance, who employ more than 500 EMTs and paramedics. The first responders say it sterilizes their hands when antibacterial soap and water is unavailable in the field. Well, Kentucky businesses that depend on tourists are having to be a lot more creative. Tourism officials have shifted their focus from attracting travelers to finding ways to help local businesses. As WYMT's Phil Pendleton reports, a lot of that has resulted in some businesses operating in completely different ways.
Tourism is all about getting people to come to your destination, but that's pretty much come to a standstill. But tourism is finding a way to continue.
They haven't stopped with their tourism businesses, but they've become a really creative and important resource for their entire communities.
Visit Lex has used numerous videos on their Facebook page to help advertise everything Lexington has to offer.
The creative aspect of letting people know and reminding them of what is out there to be visited when the time returns that they can do so.
Many tourism agencies and convention bureaus across the state are funded by hotel taxes, and most hotel lots are empty. I know hotels are really hurting, so what are they doing to stay in business?
Helping in marketing hotel rooms as telework locations.
If someone can't work from home or another location, could they rent a hotel room for a week or more?
To create that opportunity for people to have those away from the office and away from home locations.
Hotels are being used by traveling physicians or nurses who need a more isolated place to stay. All in all, it's just using a different mindset to get through this.
And taking a bad situation and saying, okay, what is the most we can make of this?
In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, officials say tourism was not included in the stimulus bill recently approved, but they hope additional help for them will be coming from Washington.
Quiet start to this Tuesday, but it is still a WYMT severe weather alert day. We could see some pop-up showers and storms at times throughout the day. I think most of us stay dry, but the severe weather threat kicks into play tonight and overnight. The models have pushed it back a little bit more. As we take a look at US 119, US 23 at Jenkins, it's all quiet there this morning. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s, close to 60. Jackson, Prestonsburg, and Hazard this morning. Wise as well, and then low to mid 50s across most of the area. The cool spots, Harlan and Middlesboro both at 49, but it is several degrees warmer this morning than it was this time yesterday morning in some locations. Your forecast today, again, 78 for a forecast high. Our better chances for rain come tonight, but there are chances throughout the daytime hours. Mr. Puckett.
All righty, Mr. Robinson, thank you, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Yep, more news is on the way. Coming up, a team of scientists says they are onto a possible coronavirus vaccine, but it's being studied at the same university where the polio vaccine was invented.